Mario, thank you for inviting us here to Pirelli HQ on a beautiful day in Milan, and it's a fascinating building here as well, built around the old factory and the power station with all this black and yellow. It's a lovely place to work.
Yes, it is, and all the offices are new, and it's a real nice environment, and it's good to work in a place like that. In the past, all this area was Pirelli with a production here, and we still have some parts of the factory. Now a big part of this area is to the university. They try to make the area better, so we have this fantastic HQ, and the weather is helping today, honestly. We are still preparing the activity for next year, not only in Formula 1 but in GT, in rally. We just finished the Monza rally show, and Monte Carlo is coming very soon.
Craig, fascinating listening to your chat to Mario about the detail. I mean, and he's just scratching the surface of what Formula One is living with tyres and all the other factors that come in to define the format of a race. And when you think about all those layers, and then you see this here, you start to realise that Pirelli actually do a lot more than just build tyres. I mean, because this is something very special for me. This is an old railway carriage factory building, massive hangar out the back there, which Pirelli have taken over because it's right next to their facility. And they've turned it into this amazing art gallery with this incredible Italian flair for art.
And it does it with a sense of integrity. I mean, we go around the headquarters, and I said to Mario, the building was all done with black, with the yellow accents. You had the cooling tower built in, it's architecturally led. And the area around here is being regenerated.
That cooling tower, when I think of the old cooling towers at Didcot, by the Williams factory, there's only one left now, and all the problems that happened with the demolition. And yet that cooling tower now in the Pirelli factory looks amazing.
An integral part of the architecture of the building, which didn't have to be there. No. They've chosen to have it there, and they've chosen to put the work into the area surrounding here in Milan to regenerate it from what was.
And this is a lot of this is young Italian creativity. We're seeing here, obviously some traditional artists as well, and to me it gives a different perspective to what Pirelli's involvement is, and it's very easy to be critical, I think, of a company which is in a monopoly situation, because whenever things go well, you kind of take it for granted. No blisters today, no graining today, whatever, no tyre failures. But whenever there's a problem, it's immediately, obvious what's happened because the tyre's gone. And this is the other side of that to me. This is Pirelli, another world, and it's lovely to see. And it's lovely to see, and I think you mentioned it in the Mario interview, the day, the weather here in Italy, the blue sky, the cold winter day, but crystal clear, and that's something to. But just going on from what you were talking about with Mario, what was your feel for how things are going to go in 2019 now?
Well, there's going to be some challenges for the teams, with warm up, with wear. Some of the problems that we saw late in 2018 with blistering and with graining, which really affected the race, that should go away with this new design of tyres. But still, again, the teams have to learn this all again, and they've got big aero changes to the cars this year anyway. Potentially how they tackle the race with the extra fuel as well now with these tyres. The result of the Abu Dhabi testing through Barcelona testing, they're going to have to try and work out is how can we tackle our weekend strategy this year. Can we go all out for qualifying and then manage the race? Or is the race going to come back into a much more sprint format because you've got the fuel and you've got the tyres that will cope with this?
I liked it when you asked Mario about when the tyre falls off the cliff, if you like, what at that point some drivers can do in terms of managing the tyres and how that's going to feel. This is what he had to say in response.
With a thinner gauge, obviously you have a tyre life that is slightly shorter, so the number of kilometers you can run is slightly shorter, but also the effect is that when you lose rubber, let's say when you wear the rubber and you generate less heat inside the tread compound, that means that you have some degradation coming from this temperature that is going down. The teams are very good in managing this. They have a lot of sensors on the car, and they know exactly when it's time to change the tires because the wear is too much or the degradation is becoming an effect they don't want, and that's why they stop the car to replace the set of tire.
So what is your feeling about that? Do you think that it'll still enable some of the very best drivers to do more than others when they're off the cliff and get more laps out of the tyres, a couple more laps?
I think how you use that last few microns almost of rubber before you go to the base construction of the tyre is going to be something that some drivers will manage much better than others. Some drivers are very hard on their tyre. Some drivers have got a real sensitivity to what's happening, plus the data they're getting back from the teams. Again, as Mario said, the teams really have got a grip on reading the telemetry and understanding where the tyre is at in its life cycle. And then you've got a very little bit of wiggle room. Once the rubber has gone, it's gone.
Yeah.
You're going to have to come in because you can't lap because you will just fall completely off a cliff. And as we all know, some people end up being better. Mercedes tend to learn this very quickly through the year. I mean, 2018 was a year where it was the race engineering that won them the championship from understanding how to use
Well, a little bit of Lewis Hamilton as well, probably, and the way Lewis is able to manage tyres.
The race engineers are looking at the weapons that they've got. How do we run a weekend to get to the end of that race first? Mercedes were very good at that. Red Bull, equally, were managing their races. Ferrari, at various points in the year, were good and bad at this.
Yeah.
And it's how quick.
Good in Austin.
Good at Silverstone, good at certain races.
Yeah.
Other races, they just simply weren't there in performance and in racecraft. So I think it's going to be, not just how good the car is, not just how good the driver is, but this whole package of engineers around the team getting that car from Friday practice through to the flag up on Sunday afternoon. That's really what we've learned over these past few years. It's much more critical than some of the flicks and the flaps that I love to talk about. That isn't necessarily always the thing that brings you a race win. It is the team performance.
Sure. Pretty impressive, isn't it?
I like it.